Welcome to another edition of Lex Talk History, a podcast produced in collaboration with WUKY and the Lexington History Museum. Now, here's your hosts, Lexington History Museum Executive Director Mandy Higgins and WUKY's own Alan Lytle.
Well, Mandy, March is coming in like a lamb. Let's hope it doesn't go out like a lion.
Yeah, I mean, we've had enough.
Yeah.
I've just all of it. I've had enough.
Same.
So let's just have a beautiful March.
Yep.
Enjoy it. It can be wild with some basketball. We can have some madness there, but I don't need any ice or
More
snow.
madness, no sadness,
That's right.
please. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's get that message to those basketball teams.
And we just got through a February of a lot of things happening at the museum.
Yeah, we had a great February at the museum. Our traveling exhibit was on display and we had a number of people come see Driftwood. President's Day was a big success, so free day with President's Day. Thank you to our friends at Traditional Bank. And we, of course, as we talked about last month, have some new items that have been donated to.
The jersey.
Yeah,
oh
and
my gosh, yeah.
Loyal podcast listeners will remember that in November, Jeff Hoagland came.
Oh, yeah, the
film. The films.
Yeah.
To talk to us about the films that 250 Lex helped create. And Charlotte Dupuis, so Move Along Lottie, a stylized retelling through Lottie of that experience is now available for view at the museum. It's about 16 minutes long. But you can come in, hit play, watch it. It's really moving, really, really powerful, and we're thrilled about it. Some of the selections related to Les McCann, the Les is in the Room series, are also available in the Intersections exhibit, and the larger pieces will be available later in the year.
Wow, that does sound like a very, very busy February. And we had terrible weather, and yet people kept coming to the museum.
Well, once you can get outside, you do want to learn a few things, and there's no better place to learn about Lexington than the Lexington History Museum.
All right, so when is the museum open?
We are open Thursdays and Fridays 12 to 4 and Saturdays 10 to 4 at 210 North Broadway, which is right downtown. We have 18 parking spots, so you can come in, park for free, visit the museum, $10 general admission, lots of discounts for various folks, and we would love to have you come through in March or April or May or whenever you need to. If you're with groups and you want to organize a group tour, please reach out to us. Our website is lexhistory.org, and we will set it up.
All right, March is a month of one particular holiday in our town.
March is St. Patrick's Day, of course. Lexington prides itself on its Irish heritage and its celebration of St. Patrick's Day. And before we introduce our guests and all the exciting things that we're going to talk about for St. Patrick's Day in 2026, I am going to give us a little quick and dirty St. Patrick's Day history.
Oh, good.
In the United States, and to tee up our guests, and then they can, correct me when I make mistakes.
Get into it then.
Let's get into it.
There we go.
So St. Patrick's Day, very much an North American holiday for quite a while. First celebrated in the Americas in 1601, and St. Augustine, which is not where I would have expected the first St. Patrick's Day in the Americas to be celebrated. But of course, it's named in honor of Saint Patrick, who brought Christianity to to Ireland. In the island, got rid of the snakes. It was all great.
Yep.
And was a feast day for a very long time. But it is Americans and our joy for celebrating particularly national cultures that brings this huge St. Patrick's Day, the things that we think about it. New York City, Boston, and then, of course, Savannah, Georgia, which has the largest St. Patrick's Day festivities. They're the only location in the South that actually celebrates on the 17th every year with a huge parade. If you ever go to Savannah, they talk about it year round. It is something that they're so proud of.
Interesting.
And partially because of a large Irish population. Of course, Lexington has had folks who claim Irish ancestry from the very beginning, or landscape is shaped by British trained but often Irish raised landscapers and folks who are working in the horse industry. And so
You're talking about the stone fences?
the stone fences.
Oh, right.
Yeah, dry stack stone fences in the horse industry. And the city itself was a little later than, say, Savannah in picking up a St. Patrick's Day celebration, but since 1980 has consistently had a St. Patrick's Day festival. And today we are joined by Megan and Liza to tell us a little bit of the Bluegrass Irish Society, to tell us the real history.
All right.
And all of the fun things that are happening this year. Thank you all. Can you all tell our listeners a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. My name is Megan Moloney. I am a volunteer with the Bluegrass Irish Society, and my half of our dynamic duo here is that I concentrate on the parade as part of the All-Tech Lexington St. Patrick's Parade and Festival.
And I am Liza Betz, and I also volunteer and have been doing it since 2008, originally with Bill Enright, who started the parade in the 1980s, and then we kicked off the festival and parade in 2008. And I have an Irish import shop downtown since 2001, so we're celebrating 25 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And before we get really into St. Patrick's Day, I heard last year that you were home of Weetabix.
Oh my gosh, I still am.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Weetabix real quick, because I love basketball.
So the first big influx of Weetabix was the basketball. And Maury Williams said he had a really good game because he ate his Weetabix this morning. Every time my son goes to basketball now, I go, hey, he's had his Weetabix this morning, he's good. But so that really put us on the map. Even though we've been around for a long time, people, I knew basketball fans were basketball. I had no idea. I've got UK everything now, almost getting a tattoo. Because it was so much fun and such good business, and it just made us smile every day. All these people coming in to have the cereal that isn't actually that nice. I mean,
it's an acquired taste. Is that what you would say?
It's very dry. You need you have to have it in hot milk, and you have to put loads of sugar on it, and that's how we did it growing up. Because our cereals generally in Ireland don't have sugar added, so you would put it on there. But we were forced to eat that. It wasn't
wheat, right?
And it's not like shredded wheat. I don't know. You haven't had any? Now people on TikTok are going crazy because they use it instead of granola in the acai bowls, and then they dip it in chocolate. It's got a whole new life. And thankfully, it's come back around. The Weetabix selling. So we used to sell a case every 3 months if we were lucky. Now we've got it we've got a lot in stock and a backup, and now they've got chocolate flavored, fruit nut flavored, regular flavor.
That's wild.
It's brilliant. Yes. So Amari Williams and UK basketball and now TikTok. It's been great.
That's awesome. All of that is what we want to talk about here is, the work of the Bluegrass Irish Society, the work around the parade and the festival, and how that is part of Lexington. So tell us a little bit about that start in the 80s and how it came about and how we've evolved over the years.
Yeah, well, the Bluegrass Irish Society, as you've mentioned, sort of pushes its founding back to 1980, and that very first parade. It's kind of cool that I get to deal with the parade now because my mom was one of the folks that helped out with the very first parade in 1980. And she says I was there. I don't have a memory of it, but the very first parade though, when John Y. Brown was governor, Phyllis George was First Lady of Kentucky, they invited their friends, Ed McMahon and his wife in, and they were the first Grand Marshal. And so they sort of kicked it off in huge style. Yeah. And, the parade has had the opportunity to host some really cool parade units. In 2007, right before the festival started, the Irish government sent the Irish Army Pipe Band to come through. And for us, it is a great opportunity for so many groups from across central Kentucky and the Bluegrass region to come together and celebrate what really is, and you alluded to it earlier, a heritage of not only Irish ancestry for those like my family who came 5 generations ago, but for those like Liza who have, come during their lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of off the boat Irish here, and it's great to be able to, come over here and feel welcomed and help to give back to the community too.
Can you tell us a little bit? Do you know why in 1980 they were like, let's have a parade? Was
Bill
it just
Enright.
Bill Enright.
Yeah,
Bill
tell us
Enright.
about Bill Enright.
Bill was here in Lexington, not originally from here,
Chicago,
but
right? Yeah.
from the Chicago area, which obviously has a big Irish ancestry. I was actually doing some research earlier this week, and they had Irish dancers at the Chicago World's Fair in, I think it was 1893. Oh, wow. So he came from Chicago and was working at IBM and doing some of their marketing. And it was just a great opportunity to take a celebration and a holiday that really does have such a tie to the history here in the Bluegrass and begin to make it into something. I think that we are very proud 46 years later to have continued that tradition. We unfortunately lost Bill this past year, so this will be the first year without Bill being here with us for the parade. But it has been such a opportunity for us to not only pay tribute to him and his family and the work that he did, but to continue that legacy.
Yeah, he was wonderful. His wife was wonderful too. Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons we're able to do this is because following the loss of Bill, the Bluegrass Irish Society and the family have donated a few items to the museum. Can you tell us a little bit about those items? And then I want to talk specifically about the blessing of the keg.
That should be you. Yeah.
Sure. We had the opportunity to work with Bill's family, and Lexington being Lexington, they're folks that I went to school with, went to church with, and grew up doing Lexington Children's Theater with, because you can't just be connected to people through one activity here in town. But they reached out as they were going through the house and said, we have a number of things here. And when I went over photo albums and guest books from the very first parades, 46 years ago, almost 50 years ago now, as well as some of the posters, some of the other items. And it really, I think, just made sense to me as being, along with Liza, the folks that are carrying this tradition on, to make sure that the city has that opportunity to remember where this event came from. We like to say, and I think our research is accurate, that it's the longest running civic event in Lexington. We have so many great events that happen through the years, throughout the year, but going back almost 50 years now, this is one of the very longest running events that happens every single year.
Even with the bad weather.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop people coming out if it's going on, even if it's cold, Yeah, it's pretty special.
But yes, you mentioned the blessing of the keg, and Lisa, that's one of the things that kicks off the festival.
Yeah, so the festival starts with the blessing of the keg, blessing of the Alltag keg at 10:45, and Father Norman for years used to do that for us, and unfortunately Father Norman's no longer with us, but we have Father Anthony who comes from Ireland, and he's been doing it he'll do it this year, and he did it last year, and he actually did the Our Father in Irish, which was it was really nice. And then it was really nice to hear some of the people in the crowd to say it with them. It's like, oh, that's pretty special to be able to do that. And then the parade kicks off, and we have got Irish dancers. Megan's group will be there. We'll have bagpipers, local musicians. We'll have, I'll set up and have a booth there. It's one of our busiest days of the year, along with the shop. And we'll have fun activities for the kids. And hopefully, we're due good weather because it was cancelled last year. But we've also taken into consideration the weather. And Megan talk about the preview where we're going to have like our headliner the night before, which is good thinking. But because we've done that, we're going to have a great day. Weather-wise that day,
We have we're kicking off this year for the first time. We're calling it the St. Patrick's Eve Live. So it's a concert the night beforehand. We have a combination of artists from throughout the U.S., throughout Ireland, as well as local musicians here. So our doors are going to open at the Lyric Theatre at 6 o'clock on the Friday before the parade, which would be on March 13th. And we've got a local bagpiper who's going to play us in, because you just can't get enough with bagpipes, right? Right. Bagpipes, you have to have the bagpipes. And even though most bagpipes and most pipe music is Scottish, we will co-opt it for the course of the weekend. But we have an incredibly talented local musician by the name of Lucy Becker, who is going to join us. She's got her fiddle too. We have a band coming over from Ireland called the Woolly Jumpers. And in case you're wondering, a woolly jumper is...
Sweater.
A sweater. Oh. For those who need the visual description, most of us, Alan, are wearing our green today in the studio.
I know I'm going to get 3 pinches today in the hallway.
And I have on my bright green woolly jumper. So
that's like an Aran sweater that you've got on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But and then so the Woolly Jumpers are playing, and then Carbon Leaf, which is a band based out of Virginia. They were supposed to play last year. One of the guitar players tore a rotator cuff. Last year we had some weather, so we wouldn't be able to have had them play anyway, but we're going to get them in the theater. It's a great opportunity to sort of get a start on the weekend, and the Lyric Theater is going to be the site for that, and that's where tickets are available as well.
Because last year when the festival and parade was all cancelled, we just moved it inside to the Lyric Theatre, and it worked out well. In such short notice, we did have a great amount of people show up. But this way, we're prepared, so we can kind of tell people in advance and not last minute what we're going to do.
And then, of course, on Saturday, that festival that starts Friday night is going to continue downtown. We're at Henry A. Tandy Centennial Park in the Fifth Third Pavilion. And again, we have Irish dance schools. There are 2 in town that both will be performing. We have an amazing boys choir from St. Andrew's Academy.
Yeah, they're really good.
Up I-75, closer to Northern Kentucky, is coming in. The Woolly Jumpers will be back. And then our local pipe bands, the William Sutherland Reed Pipe Band and the Kentucky United Pipe Band, will also be there. And we're going to wrap the day up with another group of amazing local musicians called Celtic Blue. And
that all takes a break at 1, for the parade.
Yeah. And the parade rolls right through the middle of that at 1. So you're not going to miss any of the festival performances when you're there for the parade. Hopefully you'll come before the parade, stay after the parade, catch all the great music and dancing.
Yeah, and so the all of that has sort of evolved over time. It started with the parade and has evolved into this longer festival.
Yeah, once the Irish Army came over, myself and Ed, Frederick, who is our Grand Marshal today, or this St. Patrick's Day, along with his wife Linda, we were like, we need to make this into a party. We need to extend this, and because it was so much fun. When they came over, people came. They just brought a special uniqueness to the whole event. So then we had the hole across the street. So we had sheep in the big field, and so every year has been a different year. And we've moved it, over to Robert F. Stevens' house, and then back and back. So yeah, it's all been really good, and we still have animals and stuff in the parade, which I think is important. And McCarthy's has been known to have a horse or 2 come through its door, so that's always been fun.
But we're so honored to partner with the folks at Lexington Parks and Recreation who help us put on the parade and festival. We
do all the paperwork.
Yeah, we couldn't do this without them, and that's really one of the great things about.
And that's Bill Enright. I was there for the first meeting. He got us connected and goes, this is what we need to do. If you guys want to do this festival and I'm doing the parade, they will help us, and they've been there helping us through the whole lot. So it's been a great partnership.
My favorite St. Patrick's Day memory is those years when the before Center Point was built and it was fielded, right?
Yeah.
There was the grass there.
Do you remember the hurling match?
I do.
It was so much fun.
It was so
I was
fun.
surprised more people didn't get hit. but like with a flying slitter, you know.
And we were playing, to bring it back to basketball, there's always, the SEC tournament is usually around
Always,
there.
yeah.
So
High school KHSAA, Boys and Girls
Yeah.
Sweet 16, oftentimes overlaps with us as well. And I haven't looked at the schedule to see which one it is. This one.
I'm
but
lucky.
yeah.
I think we're lucky enough people always show up.
Yeah. Comic-Con some years.
Comic-Con, that's always a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a little later this year. I think we don't miss it, but that's always fun. Yeah, combination of all the crowds.
brings everybody in.
Yes.
Yeah. Those years with the field were so great because you all did such a good job of bringing vendors in too.
Yes.
So you could move around downtown and
Yeah.
you know, I think we watched the game. Now I'm making it about myself, but I think we watched there was a great basketball team one of those years. And we watched a game downtown, maybe at McCarthy's, and then we're out and about the whole time, and it was
They probably had the Ireland. There's always rugby on too, like the Six Nations goes on. So, and actually Ireland just beat England. Woo. If you're going to beat a team, that's one to beat. And it was a home game anyway.
Yeah, so we've got the girls' tournament scheduled this year, that weekend that we're there. So certainly we welcome all the families that
Yes,
are coming to town
absolutely.
for the girls' tournament to come in. Our vendors, a lot of our vendors on site have figured it out, and some of them bring their own television monitors and park it right in front of their beverage trucks. So
yeah,
that
all tech have got a big TV, right?
Yeah, so they put a TV out there so that folks can stay right there and enjoy everything.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Can you tell us, share a couple of your favorite memories over the festivals and the parades?
Lisa, I'll let you go first because you've been.
I think the field, like when we could have the sheep running around and the hurling game, and we actually, because it was so big, we actually did mass over there before on one of the Sundays because we made it 2-day, and then we used to do the Kentucky Rose of Tralee. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but we used to get an Irish girl with a girl with Irish heritage, and we used to sponsor her to go over to participate in the Rose of Tralee, which it was a festival that was created back in Tralee when everybody was just emigrating out, and they needed people to come back, and it's huge now. And we had a Kentucky Rose for a number of years, so I think that all happened around the field days, and that was pretty special.
For me, again, it goes back to knowing that, my mom and folks were so involved in the beginnings of it. After college, I skipped town for about 20 years and went to Washington, D.C. and came back in 2015. And Bill rather quickly found me and got me involved in the parade. And I think one of my favorite things about the parade right now is that I get to wear so many hats. I teach Irish dance here in Lexington, so I have an Irish dance school. I'm helping run the parade, and so I go from working in our booth and making sure that that's running, getting up and dancing with our performers on stage, heading over to the reviewing stand and helping run the parade until that very last moment where I run down to the street and dance with our dancers and then, finish the parade out. And it's just such a great day in the community. You see so many people going through, and it's a great opportunity to just, again, sort of come downtown and celebrate. Very family friendly event.
Yeah,
and,
every year I decorate my float with customers' kids, and to see those kids grow up. And like, I worked in McCarthy's for a number of years, so these were to me like good friends, customers, and then they came into my shop when I opened the shop, and I had to see their kids on my float. And so it's a great like yearly reconnection with everybody to see like their kids have grown, and I don't have to say much or spend much money on decoration because they just dress those beautiful kids in green and away they go. So it's a win-win. But yeah, every year is fun. And we'll miss Bill. Like she's always there though. And we were talking about the donation. So you brought up some sweaters to me. I actually wear Carol's sweater now.
Yeah.
Bill's deceased wife. I'm presuming it's hers and not Bill's.
Yeah.
But I've got, and actually I've got another one. It might have been one of the children's ones that my kid's going to be wearing too. So that's kind of special.
We have right now sitting on my dining room at home, vintage St. Patrick's Day parade marshals sweatshirts and T-shirts, and so those may be at Liza's booth as giveaways this year because I think that they're a little bit too big for me to wear. It's all the extra larges and 2XLs, but those having the opportunity to just look at that history of
it's really special.
where this event has come from and hopefully where we can continue to guide it with the new St. Patrick's Eve Live concert. One thing that I always try to remind folks is that, Mandy, you talked about the St. Savannah Parade always being on the 17th. Our parade is always the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day, unless St. Patrick's Day is the 17th, and then we are on that day. So in Lexington, especially during March, and collaborating with the city, we try to stay away from anything that might interfere with our police department's ability to help provide a safe environment for everyone. And so working on those Saturdays, as long as we're not hosting the SEC tournament at that time, which we don't because that's always in Atlanta, or and it's too early for NCAA. So we're good. But
it's selfish as a business owner. I get 2 big days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not over.
It's not over.
It's still more
we
to
do
go.
the warm-up act for St. Patrick's Day, for the
and
day itself.
We've always done, again, with Father Norman. He has come in since my shop has been opened on St. Patrick's Day, and he always did a blessing of the Irish who couldn't make it to Mass that day. And it was always on March 17th he would come in and he would bring Bishop Stowe in, and they would be known to have a pint of Guinness or 2. I'm not saying if it was more than 2. And this year, unfortunately, Bishop Stowe is out of town, but I'm hoping that Father Anthony, if he's listening, I need to give him a text and see if he can also come in and give the Irish a blessing and the shop a blessing on St. Patrick's Day. So that's always a fun event too if you're in McCarthy's or around. It's normally around 2:00 in the afternoon, so hopefully we can get people more in to get a little blessing if they don't make it to Mass that day.
Might have to take a little walk downtown.
Yes.
Walk from the museum down to
just a couple blocks.
It's very close. I really love the ways that you're talking about the community coming together, right? You having Father Norman and having those blessings and having the dance troops all together. Has it always been that way? Was that something you've intentionally brought more into in the last 10 years?
I think Irish people are so connected to their culture. Like, you don't hear one Irish person say, "Oh, I'm Irish." It's like, "I am Irish." Like, there's a proudness to it. You don't have to push them very hard to get connected and get involved, which is great. I mean, everybody's proud to be Irish, and everyone's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. I always like to say you don't have to be Irish to shake a shamrock. So everybody's welcome, but everybody tends to be a little bit more Irish on that day, and everyone's super proud, and there's a lot going on, and it's wonderful.
And I think it's just, again, I think it's important for us to come together as a city and as a community to celebrate so many of the cultures that we have. We're excited this year that we're partnering with Global Lex, which is our city's organization that recognizes and works with so many of the communities in town. They're actually one of the groups that will be helping to sponsor the festival stage performances. This is the first year they've really had a chance to sort of step up, and they were so excited to say, "Hey, we want to be a part of this." So I'm hopeful that means it's something that we can look forward to continuing. I mean, honestly, it's not just about the Irish for me. I would love to see, so many of the groups that participate in events like our diversity festival and some of the other events that go on through the year. I'd love to see them walking down Main Street during the parade.
It'd be wonderful, yeah.
There have been years when you have the Chinese New Year
that was
large
so
dragons going down the parade route, and to me, that's what our celebration
that makes for a
is
better
all
parade,
for.
and less of the political little cars driving by. I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean? They're not that fun to look at.
It is an election year, so
yes,
I'll just go ahead and say there are some campaigns.
If anyone's
that
got
will be
any
marching
Chinese
this year.
dragons or it's the horse, the year of the horse, maybe we could bring them on down to the parade, right?
I have been, so as I've said, the museum's on Broadway. The last couple of days, we've seen the mounted police, and I wondered if they were practicing for you all.
Yeah, there are a number of horse units. If you are a fan of horses,
Yeah.
and then my favorite units that are always staged right behind the horses are folks from the city's waste management division with the pooper scoopers.
Yeah. Very
Can't
much
have
needed.
one without the other.
Can't have
No.
one without the other.
Very much needed.
For folks who want to be involved in 2027, when should they start looking for information? How can they learn more?
Well, we always like to try to be organized, but inevitably, we generally get our parade and festival applications in late December, early January, are open. Lexington St. Pat's Parade.org is our website. Lexington
And our
St.
emails and
Pat's
everything are up there also. So
Parade.
if people need to reach
Yeah,
out.
so-
We're very reachable.
Keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on the social media. The city also puts out when applications are open. So but again, it's usually right around the end of the year, beginning of the year that we put that information out. I think this year we're expecting about 65 or 70 entries in the parade, which makes for a nice, good 1-hour parade so we can get back to the festival and all of the vendors and
We've got lots of great vendors this year.
entertainers. So, yeah.
And all the food vendors are doing something Irish. So they're having a lot of fun with that. So I can't wait to try all the food as well. And we should mention the Shamrock Shuffle too.
Yes, we are
Yeah.
not the first thing that
Yes.
takes place in downtown on that Saturday morning.
And we're glad to have them back too,
Yeah.
because they weren't there for a couple of years. So, and they actually got to go and do it last year because it was right before that wind came in. So the Shamrock Shuffle will be back downtown this year, and it's Habitat for Humanity, right? So they have it on their website and everything.
Yeah.
Easy to Google times and everything like that. I think it's 7:30 though, isn't it? The mile race.
I think the race kicks off like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And my dancers are going to be teaching people to dance right at the award ceremony for
Smart. Yeah, that'll
so
be fun.
add one more hat for me to put on that day. I basically, we moved downtown for 2 days. So, yeah.
That's good.
And the shuffle's only a 3K. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Get that mile and an eighth or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Which makes it more family orientated. You know, so many kids. I'm always so impressed with the amount of children that are out of bed running in the cold.
Yes.
But it's not going to be cold this year. I have a really good feeling it's going to be nice and warm.
I love that positive.
If it could be like today.
I'm over here knocking on
perfect.
wood when she says that.
Today is just gorgeous. It's like spring.
Perfect. Well, is there anything else you want our listeners to know about the history or the current moment? Or
I just, I would encourage folks that, maybe haven't come down for a couple of years or have never visited and come downtown for the parade to come down and join us. And I really want to emphasize too, this concert the night beforehand is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
We have done what we can to make it super affordable. It's not what you would pay to see any of these bands if
Yeah.
you were going to see them play at a concert hall.
Yeah.
So, tickets
be
are
fun.
available at the Lyric Theater. They'll be available at the door as well, but you get like a $5 discount if you buy them in advance.
Yeah.
So,
And also, I don't know if anyone knows this, but I do tours to Ireland every year. So my tour is September 24th to October 6th, 2026. So if anybody wants to go to Ireland, I'd be more than happy to bring them.
incredible. And they can find out more about that.
At lexirish.com.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. We're so excited.
Thank you.
And we'll have the materials that were donated to the museum are in process at the moment.
That's cool.
And they'll be available for research and view very soon.
Oh, cool. Keep us updated. That'd be fun to go see.
We're so
you all.
excited.
Yeah.
Wow, this is going to be great. We're going to get good weather. We know that. We know that for sure. Because we've been knocking wood, keeping our fingers crossed, and all of that too. In the event that it, for some reason, would it all move to the Lyric again?
So this year the Lyric has a conflict on the day of the parade. So we're going to do the festival. That is indoors. That is guaranteed. That's the night beforehand.
That's the night before.
And,
if it's canceled the day of.
The day of. Our goal is to do as much as we can, but our goal is also to keep the community safe. And so We've had some really, really cold weather. We've had some really, really windy weather, which has made things very difficult for us in the past. But you all keep telling me that's not going to happen this year. So,
Well, I'm just delighted that whether, if the weather is bad or something happens, that we do get to celebrate on Friday night. Like that's our main headliner.
on Friday the 13th.
Friday night. Friday the 13th. Yeah.
The 13th.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's because we're going to have the luck of the Irish.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which doesn't ever seem to happen on St. Patrick's Day itself. But anyway.
Well, thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank
This
you.
is terrific. Again, give that website where people can get the information.
Yeah, so Lexington St. Pat's, Pat's Parade.org. Search Lexington St. Patrick's on any of your search engines. Put Kentucky in there so you don't end up with the folks down in South Carolina. Every year we get at least 2 or 3 parade entries from people that live in South Carolina, and I'm like, no, you're in the wrong parade. So,
Yeah.
but Lexington St. Pat's Parade.org, and our social media handle is Lex St. Pat's Parade.
That's going to be a great celebration. And, will the museum be open that day?
We will be open that day. So if you need to, take a little break from your festivities and learn a little bit about Lexington, or, occupy your kids for a minute, you can come to the museum at 210 North Broadway. We'll be open 10 to 4 that day. And maybe you can see a little bit of St. Patrick's Day memorabilia out
Great.
on display that day as well. So we're thrilled to be a part of it.
And that is certainly the hope anyway.
Yes.
So how about some coming attractions for April?
Oh, April. I'm not going to lie to you, listeners. I was on such a win streak, and I got nothing for April.
It's early.
It's early.
It's
I haven't
early,
gotten
exactly.
it together.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll talk some winning basketball in April. You think?
Let's certainly hope so anyway. Yeah. Well, yeah. So whatever it is, we will be back on your phones and in your downloads come April. So we will see you next time on Lex Talk History.
You've been listening to Lex Talk History, a monthly podcast produced in collaboration with WUKY and the Lexington History Museum. Subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts, or download Lex Talk History from the podcast page at WUKY.org. And if you haven't done so already, please make plans to visit the Lexington History Museum soon. Get started on your tour at lexhistory.org.